chickens, welcome to my little Sunday video. I hope that everybody's well and that the weather's treating you not too badly. I know that in the north we are all we've hit winter, and boy, it hit us on day one. But I know that in the southern hemisphere you guys are also experiencing really hot summer, so stay cool, wear sunscreen, or keep yourself as warm as possible. Right, enough about the weather. Got that out of the way. I wanted to share with you what we're going to make today, which is really a very simple project, but a great one. And I love doing this. We're making a tassel, and Christmas is just the opportunity to go all out because, you know, it's all about the bling. And then I'll reel myself in and be demure and pastel, which I love. So anyway, enough about that. This is the one I made before, so for last year actually, and I'm going to make something very similar and show you how easy this is to do for any journal. Now you can use absolutely anything in a tassel when you're making it. I don't know, I've got a bit of purple stuff hanging on the end of that, and they really are very tactile. I always fiddle with them when I have them unhooked. Now I use a lobster claw to attach it to an eyelet that I put into the spine once I have finished fixing the whole spinal block into the cover. It's the last thing I do. And then I use this little gadget as well. So I'll show you what they are. I've got it next to me here, and I always keep the little top because I never know the name. So it's a Tim Holtz Ideology mini book rings, that's it. And the reason why I like these are because they're open. So you need that for this. Of course, that's going to be a thing. I'll put that aside because you'll need one of those. So that's what it is, a hinged book ring really. And then this isn't Tim Holtz. I just bought these off Amazon, and you just want some kind of a lobster claw and something that's fairly large to get around the space between the top of your journal and where you fitted the little eyelet or made a hole. Right, alternatively, you could use something like this, but then just a bull clip if you don't have something like this. But if you've got like a little bull clip, you could use that as well, because you could still thread that through there and that could clip on the top, and then it could hang off from there. So there's that as well. All right, oh wait, I'll need that and one of those. So I'll just close that up. And my daughter, bless her, she's labeled everything for me. Right, so that's what you need on that front. And then you need a pile of ribbons and all sorts of bits and pieces. And this is a good opportunity to work away a lot of those leftover ribbons or trims, or just eyelash trim, just anything. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Now I've even used buttons in mine. I've sewed in the buttons. I'm just trying to get it here. I think it's wrapped itself. Oh, there we go. So I had leftover buttons from Christmas and all sorts of ones, and I've sort of threaded them onto that. I'm not going to do that today, but just giving you some examples of what you can do. I've added bells to this one. I've even added a couple of charms to some of those. All right, so it's just endless what you can do with this in any theme. For any journal, you can add all sorts of things. So that's our little project that we're going to do today. Now eventually, at the end of making my Christmas journal, I stumbled across my colored, enamel colored charms. So I like these because they bring a bit of color. You get all sorts in here, and I've used these for 2 years. I've taken out a couple and put them in there to use, so we're going to do that. Of course, there's nothing wrong with these sort of antique gold type ones. These are also Christmas charms, so you know, snowflakes, all sorts. So if you've got something like that, pull them out. If you've got Christmas colored buttons, grab those, you know, that as I showed you. And then of course it's just the trims. So this is what I've gathered. So I've pulled out what I had from my ultimate bundle. Of course, it's in the ribbon bundles, whether you're using the mini journal ribbon bundles, which are these, or if you are using the larger set, lots of these in there as well. I did have this in the Ultimate Bundle, and we're going to add some of this to our tassel, so that's what this was for, as well as the tinsel, which is also what this was for. All right, so that's what I had in mind when I put that together. Crinkle ribbon, if you've got crinkle ribbon or even sari ribbon, creams or greens, go grab it. All of that will work perfectly well. If you've got a couple of bells, then grab those and we'll see how we get along. So I'm going to put this at the top here. I want to just share with you my sort of collection so far. So this board that I use is what I use every time I make a tassel. And the reason for that is it's the perfect length. You need to have it twice the length of the height of your journal. Mine is 9 inches and that's 23 centimeters. So you want it to be twice that. And this board is 18 inches. All right, so it's 46 centimeters that you are wanting as an average. So I have got some eyelash trim. This is a cream color that I just had in my cupboard. So any eyelash trim that you have, there you go. It's the length of the board. I've also grabbed some of this micro mini bauble in this deep red, which I love. So I had a bit of that over, so I've done that. I've also gathered a little bit of sari, so we're just keeping these together, and this is how I go about it. I just lay them out like this and cut them to the 18 inches there or thereabouts, and once I've pulled it all together I give it a trim. So make one end here like this end, the top, right, there we go. Whoops, it's all moving around. Right, I've got some crinkle binding, that red crinkle ribbon, and I'm going to put some of that in as well. This I've made slightly longer because it does sort of pull itself up, but I'm happy with that. Right, come on now. I might need to tuck him under if he's going to do this. Just the one end so I can see the length. I had a little bit of ribbon that said Merry Christmas, and I quite fancied adding that in, so I'm going to add in one of those. And then the Rick Rack, I've got some red, put it over here. I had some of the lovely sage green lace trim, so that's a great one as well. And then I did have a piece of the gold braid left over from the mini journal kit, so that I thought would just make it pop. So I've got a piece of cream sari. I thought, oh, it's going in, it's going in. So I'm just sort of putting them all together, and I took another piece of this little mini pom-poms, that's the word. I'm going to just put it on this side. I'm sort of spacing them because when you grab them together, you don't want all the same color together, so I'm sort of separating them out. Then this was also part of the bundles, so one of my bundles. And then I've got the green Rick Rack as well, so we've got that one there. We'll put a bit of green there. All right, so this is how you go about it. I found this in my drawer. It's a bit of red Rick Rack, and thought, okay, in you go. So it just ends up being, you know, everything that you can find, and this is just another of the same of that eyelash trim. I do like a bit of eyelash trim. Right, I've got some green, the sage green seam binding, and we want some, not everything to be red, so I need to break it up a bit. Here's some of the gold, so I'm going to put that on this side because we've got a gold of that over there, and then some of the darker green, which I'm going to put on this side over here. So it's getting nice and full now. Right, a couple more things. I've got the tinsel eyelash, which was part of that freebie for your ultimate bundle, and you know you want some shiny stuff, so there we go. And then I want to just take off the lights here. Sorry, my throat is very phlegmy still, my chest, so I do apologize. I have been editing out all my coughing sprees, so you haven't had to endure that. But now and then it just overcomes me and I might miss one. So I do apologize. Right, I'm going to put in a line of lights here. And again, just cut that at the top. We'll put that back on that little bobbin afterwards. So we've got some lights, and then I wanted the gold eyelash as well. So we just want to undo that. Couldn't resist getting this because it's perfect for Christmas, isn't it? Right. There we go. Yeah. That red one, I don't know if it's this red one or how that happened to be here, but I think I'm going to replace it because this is much fluffier over there. And we'll sort that out afterwards. Right, come off you. Don't know where you came from. Right, so we'll put that one in there like that. Have I got everything? There's just one other thing I wanted to do. Now, I wanted to put on some of the charms and the bells. So I'm using the twine. I'm not going to cut it off yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit longer, measure it, and I am going to cut off a bit. So I've just made it probably 22 inches long. And what I want to do is, I think I'm going to put a bell on the end of it, like that, and tie a knot. Now with all the knot tying, it will make it shorter, hence I've added on another 4 inches to this, but that's all right. So I'm going to put a bell on there, and we'll just trim the end off, the scrappy bit. And then I want to put on a couple of charms. So if I have that there, I think I want about 4 charms. So I've got a wreath, a bell, a tree, a gingerbread man. We'll have Father Christmas. Right, so there's lots there, but and because this is a board, I can also decide where I want to put them. So I'm going to put a bell at the other end, and then I'm going to sort of, I'm not measuring it, but I'm going to just sort of make a place for it. One, dun, dun, something like that. So I'm ready, just eyeballing it. Okay, so at this point here, we want to get on another, so what was that, 2.5 inch mark. And I'm trying to keep it there, but you know it's not going to happen. So right, we've got that on, and we wanted it about here. So at that point I'm going to knot it in place, just so that it's going to stay where we want it. Right, and then put it back there. We want to go to the next one. So I think what I need to do is just get my little clip, my tiny peg. So that is where I want it. And I can now thread it through, and I think, just had a brainwave, I'm going to use some washi. Hope this is going to work. Alright, I tried it again with a piece that hadn't unraveled, and I think that's better, and I've chopped it off. So I think this should work. Yeah, that's better, then I don't have to struggle. Right, we get it down to our little marker here, which is this, and then thread that through, make a knot. Yeah, and then just take off your little marker. There we go. Right, and then I think this is the bit that takes the longest. Right, so we want it over there, and then we want to get that through there. Okay, like that. And then this one's got to go here. Right, so we've got that there, and then we just want our bell on the end. So again, that's got to go here. And then whatever's left, we just can cut that off. So that's nice and easy. pull it to the position, and there we go, double knot. Right. Right, so we've got that bit there. I'm going to try and put it in the middle-ish. All right, if you're wanting to add buttons, again, the same principle, just thread your buttons through the holes actually and carry on, and the same principle will apply. I'm just going to pull that one a little bit down. Right, now what you need to do is you need to gather yourself, and I'm probably going to use a little bit of this. This sort of thing works well because it sort of just disguises itself into the run, but we really only want a smaller piece, but we'll see how we go. Now what you want to do is you want to divide this in half. I'm going to just push the board up a bit so you can see. You want to grab your hook here, the ring, and open that up. We're going to use that right away. So find the halfway mark. I know it's 9, so I'm going to grab everything right there. I'm going to take this. Now you need 3 hands for this. I'm going to push it through the middle there. So I'm trying to jam everything together onto that half, and then you want to close the ring. All right, and pull everything in half like that. Pull it all down. All right. Now if there's some little uneven bits, you can sort of even them up as you're going, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. Right, I've got that there. This is when it becomes a bit difficult, so I would encourage you to sort of make a big loop with your one hand, put that over there, and then this is usually when I use my mouth. Get this just below where all the ring is. All right, I'm not really using my mouth, I promise. Right, and give that a big pull, holding it with my fingers that have gone numb. There we go, and there we go, and that sort of will just blend into that nicely like that. All right, so we've got it all put together there. It's looking lovely. You got your bells. Now this is the part where you want to pull it all down and see if there's anything that you want to cut off, if anything. So I might just giving it a haircut. I'm not being overly fussy here, but there we go. You can see it's more or less done, and you don't want to cut your bell off, so just be careful of that. Right. And there we have a little tassel. Now all we need to do is we need to open this, and you can see the opening is right there, so it's not hard. You want to thread that lobster clip in there, or alternatively clip it onto a bull clip, and there you're good to go now with your little dangle. And how pretty is it with all those bits and pieces in there? I love it. Yeah. Lots of beautiful Christmas colours, festive, and it makes a lovely sound. Gotta love that. All right, guys, that is our video for today. Quick and easy, really going to look lovely on our little journal spine. Go and give it a go. Go and look for all sorts of bits and pieces, ribbon bits that come on gifts, little twine pieces, anything that you can use, your buttons, anything left over, and go and give this a go. If anybody's still looking for ribbon bundles or anything like that for Christmas or little ladies, I still have some of those in my website shop, so don't forget about popping on over if you haven't already. And also, last but not least, I hope to have my new kit out by Friday, and the bundles and everything, well, by this weekend, let's say. So don't forget about that. I'll keep reminding you. I'll see you on Tuesday, everyone. Have a glorious Sunday, and see you then. Bye.